Welcome back to Wave of Dalker. State of the Orioles Address 2025, Episode 2. Only 4 days away. No, not even. 3 days away from the opening day in Toronto. Zach Eflin versus Jose Barrios is going to be the starting pitching matchup. Very exciting stuff. The rotation is pretty much solidified. It's going to be, like and subscribe. This is going to be probably 25 to a half hour minute rant about the season. Just kind of my preview, my expectations, and kind of what we're going into. Because the first one I did was like an off-season evaluation. I think it was like mid to late January when most of the moves had settled. Since then, I think we got Gibby, and I think that was it. I think we already had Carlson. I think we already had what's that other cat's name? Laureano. We had most of our off-season acquisitions at the point of that recording. I think we had Kit Ridge already. So basically, since then, it's just kind of been the team, feeling itself out and kind of establishing what's going to be the starting lineup on opening day, which is still a little gray because we don't know, because Gunner's on the IL, so he's not going to make opening day, obviously, but he could make the home opener. That's a bummer, but I think this team's been built in a way where we can succeed without Gunner for, hopefully it's the least amount of time possible, but, God forbid, if he goes down, Holiday goes down, Mateo goes down, Arias goes down, Westbrook goes down. I think this team is built in a way where we can supplement our losses pretty well. But yeah, back to the rotation. It's gonna be Eflin, Morton, Sagano, or Kramer. I want Kramer in the 4 spot. He's my favorite player on the team, but I think we should do Sagano 3, Kramer 4. Obviously you're kind of picking nits at that point, but I think it's gonna end up being Eflin, Morton, Sagano, Kramer, Povich. I'm really excited about Povich starting the home opener because I got a Cade Povich jersey that came in last week. Love that guy. Love Slim. Big things this year. I'm really excited to see him pitch. But yeah, let's just take a look at the 40-man so far, and let's just kind of talk about maybe do like MVP, biggest leap, most about kind of my expectations for these players, or just kind of how I see how this team's going to shape out. I'm really excited for this season. I've kind of bought myself in. A few months ago, if you told me my expectations for this year, I would have been kind of bummed, especially if you told me the moves or lack thereof that we had made in the offseason. But I'm excited nonetheless. There's Bautista, I was going to say. But yeah, I'm excited. The bullpen is a little spooky. Batista's going to be making the opening day lineup. I'm excited about that. Matt Bowman, I like what we saw from him in the very little bit that we had of him last season. Brian Baker is kind of poopy. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I don't want him really to see much of anything. Maybe in a bridge to Bautista, but that ends up usually being Cano for the most part. Kit Ridge, I'm excited to see what we got from him. He has good stuff. He's kind of a vet presence. I appreciate that. Same thing with Gibby. I'm interested to see, because obviously we're going to be getting Grayson back sometime over the next few months. We're going to be getting Kyle Bradish back sometimes in the next few months. I'm curious to see how that shapes out, because the assumed move, obviously, like I said, I love Dean Kramer, I love Povich, but they're going to end up being maybe Sagana, but he was one of our big free agent signings, so I doubt that Elias and Hyde would be we're going to bump him to the bullpen when these guys come back. But obviously this is looking ahead in the future, and who knows the state or how these players are performing at that point. But I'm curious to see how their return shapes out the rest of the rotation, because they're definitely going to eke out Morton. When Grayson comes back, he's probably going to be our 2 guy, unless Morton's looking insane or Eflin's looking, poor, God forbid, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's an interesting piece. I think it's not that we overcompensated. I think it's just, we picked up players to supplement our losses, but I'm curious to see what happens when those losses that we supplement are gone or are no longer an issue. Once players return, how do they, I imagine we're probably going to send some people down and just kind of keep them as, reserves. I can't imagine that Kyle Gibson, there's much priority for him to make the rotation. Obviously we signed him. He's been with the team before. I love Kyle. I love Gibby. I always remember that 8-inning, I think it was 8-inning, 1-run or shutout against the Blue Jays back in 2023. I think it was August 24th or something. Very random memory, but I love that game. I remember watching it at work. He was just awesome in that. I like him a lot. But I don't know. And Trevor Rogers, I hope he never sees the mound in a major league game ever for us. I think he's just a bum. Albert Suarez is going to be a pretty solid bullpen piece for us. I liked him coming out of the pen last season. So yeah, I think I'm not as pessimistic or out on our pitching as some other folks are. I think these guys have I love Eflin, I love Kramer, I love Povich. Like I like our guys. I'm excited to see what Morton and Sagano offer. They've looked pretty solid in spring training, and obviously you want to take spring training with a grain of salt because similar to rehab starts, which people also tend to blow out of proportion, they're not really trying to go out there and win. They're trying to go out there and make sure that their stuff is where they want it to be. Throw pitches on uncomfortable counts. They're experimenting. They're not going out there to throw six shutty and get the win. They're going out there to see if their two seamer backdoors a lefty the way they want to do it, or see if their curveball breaks the right way, or see if their sliders making the proper horizontal movement that they desire. Like it's not this cut and dry win and loss thing as it is in the regular season. But regardless, I'm obviously going to blow a lot of our hitters' statistics out of proportion because it's exciting to see that. But I think I am happy with our pitching. As happy with our pitching on if there's a scale, I think I'm on in here's you feel bad about it and here's you feel great. I think I'm here. And I think a lot of Orioles fans are here. I don't know. I really try not to be too pessimistic about my sports teams because I know how bad I can get with that. And obviously, the Eagles just won a Super Bowl, so I'm kind of on sports cloud nine, and I can kind of, take a back seat emotionally with some of this stuff. But I'm very excited for it this season, as I've said a million times. But I'm content with this pitching. I don't want to see Chase McDermott or Trevor Rogers or Dominguez really make any high leverage or intense stuff. Those are the three guys that I'm kind of out on. McDermott, obviously, maybe he can have, a really great, showing in double or triple A, and he comes up and, fills a spot for somebody if they go down for a week. But obviously, I think I like our 5-man rotation of Eflin, Morton, Sagano, Kramer, Povich right now. I'm curious to see how it shapes out when Grayson returns and, eventually, ideally, if Bradish returns this season, how it works. But I'm content. I'm content mainly because our offense, I think, is going to be very strong this year, and they can kind of make up for some potential shortcomings that are due to happen to any pitching rotation, but especially one that isn't in the upper echelon at all of rotations in the league. Probably, just thinking of the AL East, probably on the lower half of strength rotation-wise in the AL East. I think, I don't know, the Yankees are kind of weak too, just without Cole. But I don't know. I'm happy with our pitching. I'm very excited to see Felix Bautista back. I hope the home opener is a blowout, but it'd be great to see him make his season debut on the home opener, see those lights flicker, hear the Omar whistle. That'd be awesome. Excited to see Cade Povich. I love him. I like a lot of these guys. I'm happy about this. This was a big nothing burger segment on the pitching, but TLDR, I might put this little timestamp in the video. TLDR, I'm content with our pitching. I'm excited for the season to start and see some of these guys take some big leaps. And there we go. Now to our position players. Adley Rutschman, I think I tweeted back in August of last season when he was in the midst of just his poorest stretch in the majors thus far, besides maybe his first few weeks in the majors back in May of 22. I tweeted that Adley 2025 MVP is going to hit so hard, and I think he's been hitting really well in spring training. I think Gary Sanchez takes a big load off it, takes a lot of, because with James McCann, I love James McCann. He was such a great guy for this team, glue guy, great defender, great framer, solid situationally. He had that walk off against Kansas City last year. He was great. But I think Sanchez is a significantly better offensive catcher, and it's pretty much a lateral move defensively. And I think I'm someone that, especially with Basayo making his way through the ranks, unfortunately he does have that. He has some elbow pain, so he's going to only DH the first month in AAA. But, he's on the up and up. He's only 20 years old. I want to see him being the everyday catcher for this Orioles team and shift Adley Rutschman to a DH first baseman kind of thing, because God forbid we see another stretch like we saw from Adley last year in the latter half of the year when he was just hitting poorly, and they chalked it up to the wear and tear of being a catcher. But it's like this guy's 26 years old, and that's already affecting him. So if we can shift him out of being a 120 130 catching guy, and I think that'd be ideal. I want him. I desire. I desire Adley Rutschman's hitting over his defense, and I don't really need him. Like I'm not. He's not this touted defender that like we need him behind the dish. Like he's not like a Patrick Bailey. Obviously he was kind of looked at as his Buster Posey type. I think it's just mainly because of his offensive prowess. Like he's a great defender. Like he definitely had I think one of his probably his best defensive year last season. I feel like, but that also just kind of goes against his hitting potential. But like TLDR again, I want to see Basayo be the everyday catcher when he's up. I want to see Adley obviously stay with the team and be a big part of the lineup, but just mainly I prioritize his hitting like threefold over his defensive prowess. I think Gary Sanchez being here, I think he's going to be catching a lot more games. I think we're going to see Adley DHing a lot more this season, which is ideal. I want to see him, batting 285 and up, getting on base, drawing walks. Like he is, he's going to be our two-hole guy probably all season. I just want to see that. So I'm happy with the Gary Sanchez pickup. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to have a lot of really fun games. I think he's going to be a great glue culture guy for this team. Obviously, like I said, Gunnar Henderson is going to start the season on the IL with that. I think it was like like it came up lame on like a ground ball. I think it's like a joint. What is it called again? It's is it on his profile? It's something it's an injury I never heard of before. Let's read this article. Yeah, intercostal strain. Don't know what that is. Let's see. Between your ribs. Okay. So yeah. So he's gonna start the season on the IL. I think the lineup that we saw today against DC in that exhibition game is probably gonna end up being the opening game. Like it was Cowser. Let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head. Cowser, Rutschman, Westberg, O'Hearn, O'Neill, Mountcastle, Mullins, Urias, Holiday. I think it was like Holiday at short, Westberg at second, or Westberg at third, Urias. No. Let's see if I can find this. Let's go to my good friend Rock Kabatko. Love him. He tweeted the lineup. This lineup that they have for today is probably, like I said, it's probably going to end up being the lineup for... Oh, I actually did nail that. I got that exactly right. But yeah, so you have Urias at third, Holiday at short, Westy at second. O'Hearn DHing, O'Neill in right, Mounty at first, Mullins in center field. I like Cowser. I really like Cowser, but I don't really see a long-term... I want to see Holiday become our eventual leadoff guy, especially if he's running like he's been running in spring training. Like there's been he's stolen a lot of bases. He's been aggressive on the base path. If he can maintain that speed and aggression, and obviously become the hitter that he was looked at being out of the draft, I think he can definitely be our leadoff guy for the future. I don't like Gunnar leading off. I want Gunnar in like the 3-hole or like the 2-hole. I want Gunnar batting with runners on, as opposed to Gunnar. Like I'd rather like 15 2 or 3 run homers than like 20 leadoff homers. Like I just think his power and his clutchness it becomes a lot more of a factor when he's batting third. Like I understand, Gunnar, a lot of power, a lot of speed. He's great on the base paths. Like when he's one of the best base runners in baseball. Like he manufactures runs with his aggressive base running. I understand him being on base for when Adley's up or Westy or O'Hearn's up to knock him in. But I don't know. I don't really like the long term of Gunnar being our leadoff guy, and I'd like to see Holiday or eventually Enrique Bradfield Jr. become a leadoff guy. But I understand Cowser being leadoff now, especially when Gunner's out. But this is a great lineup. I think this is a strong lineup. I think our offense this year is gonna go back to what it was in like 2023, 2022. Last year, obviously, our offense was the reason we lost to Kansas City in 2 games after just 2 incredible starts from Eflin and Burns. But like I said, I like this team. Obviously, I have rose-colored glasses on just because they're my favorite team. Duh. But I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot of really great years from these guys. I think Holiday is gonna end up being close to an everyday guy, which is awesome. Get him, you know, instead of just a cup of coffee in the majors, get him a full, stack of pancakes, some eggs, and some potatoes. It'll be nice to have Mateo back and healthy. I think his lack of speed definitely hindered us down the stretch after he went down with that injury. Urias, he's a guy that whenever I'm mad about whatever he did the day before, he'll go out the next day and hit a home run and a double, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess he is pretty good. Westy, hopefully he's healthy the entire year because I think he's just one of our best, bat to ball clutch guys. Like, I just love the way he plays baseball, and he's one of our, he's like a JJ Hardy type. I love him. Mountie, I think he's gonna hit. My bold prediction is like 27 bombs from Mountie. I think that's reasonable, especially with the left field wall shifting. And honestly, we could see that same thing with Westberg, and O'Neill too, because O'Neill hit 30 bombs last year with Boston, and with an even shallower left field wall in Camden Yards, we could definitely see some more home runs. Righty Adley as well. And Gary Sanchez. Like, I think that left field wall is going to definitely help a lot of our guys get some confidence back and definitely increase their power. But yeah, I mean, I like our guys, as Buck Showalter said, duh. But, and that may just because, obviously I'm an Orioles fan and I pay attention and I'm a very active Orioles fan. So it may just because I know all these guys and I know what they're capable of at their best. And it may just be, me, like I said, rose-colored glasses with these guys. But I'm excited. I think there's a lot of potential with this team. I think our offense is going to be a lot better, and I think, like I said, it's going to offset potential shortcomings with, an overall weaker rotation / bullpen without a bona fide ace and without, obviously Batista's back, Cano, All-Star 2 seasons ago, but our bullpen's probably the weakest aspect of our team, but I'm excited. And now, I'll pull up a Word document. Let's do my little, that was weird. So let's see. Team MVP for the 2025 MLB season. I'm going to go with my guy, Adley Rutschman. I think this is a hot take. I think, people are looking at, the latter half of his season last year where he was one of the worst hitters in baseball. But this guy's single now. He broke up with his girlfriend, that Canadian track star. He's all baseball, baby. He's been, knocking out opposite field singles in spring training. I think he's gonna go out and have. Here's my predicted. Let's see, stat line prediction. That's a word. Shut up. I'm going 25 bombs. He's gonna bat 305. And he's going to OPS. Give me 880 OPS. That's solid. I think that's that's not the peak of Adley. I think if he plays like he played, the first half of last season, I think he can be a lot better than that. And, obviously we saw his 5-for-5 day against Boston 2 seasons ago. But I think this is a relatively realistic stat line for my guy Ad, and obviously I'm optimistic and I'm a big believer and I want him to be an Oriole for life, but I think this is my team MVP, Adley Rutschman, and I think he's going to play really great defense. And obviously, I think Gunnar can end up having a more appealing stat line, but I mean, ever since Adley's been up with us, we've been, I think the best team in the American League. He's the guy. He is the stern of the ship. He's the, he helped us get where we are today. I'm giving him all sorts of superlatives, and he deserves it. I love Adley Rutschman. And then, okay, let's see. Team, I guess Cy Young or best pitcher. This is a slick way of doing this. I want to say Dean Kramer and Cade Povich, but I think Eflin's going to go out there. Obviously, it's CH, right? Yeah, I thought so. I'm going to go out there and say Zach Eflin. It's not the hottest take. He's the opening day starter. He was our big pickup prowess wise, obviously, we traded the most, or like the most touted prospects for Trevor Rogers, but I think in terms of player that we got back, I think Zach Eflin was our biggest pickup from last year. I think he's going to go out there. Give me like 14 and 7 with a 3.10 ERA, and give me like 185 innings. Is that insane? This guy goes deep into games. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. And he was great with us. I mean, I think his like the last like as an Oriole, he's had like a sub 3. I love Zach Eflin. I love his stuff. Like my favorite non-Orioles pitcher is probably like George Kirby, and I think Zach Eflin pitches like George Kirby. He's a control guy, doesn't walk. He goes out there and gives you like 6 strong. I like Zach Eflin a lot. I think he's gonna go out there and have a great season. Let's see, dark horse player, position player. I'm gonna go with who's my dark horse position player? Who's gonna go out there and supersede expectations? Give me Mountie. I don't know if this really counts, but like I said, I think Rob Mountcastle is gonna go out there. Give me 31 bombs. I mean, he's gonna be relatively pretty much every day. I mean, him and O'Hearn platoon at first base most likely. Give me 31 bombs. He's gonna bat 270. He's gonna OPS. Give me like 885 OPS. Yeah, that left field wall is gonna be shorter. Yeah, because what was it? 2021, he had 30 bombs. I like Mountcastle. I'm excited to see him play, and he kind of went under the radar a little bit last season. I think he didn't miss any time last year, did he? I can't remember. But obviously, his time first is going to be limited. Like last season, he definitely had an off year. I mean, yeah, 13 home runs, 124 games. Just not what we want to see from a guy who had 33 bombs in 2021. But I think he's going to come back with a vengeance, and it's going to be awesome. And, I bet half those home runs are going to be against Toronto. And we're starting in 4 games at Toronto, so maybe he'll come out of Toronto with 3 home runs. That'd be sick. Dark horse pitcher. Gonna be my guy, Cade Povich. I want to say Dean Kramer, but Dean Kramer, he's never gonna have Cy Young or even Cy Young 25 voting numbers. Like he's gonna go out there probably give you he's gonna go 10 and 8 with a 360, but he's gonna put his heart and soul into the season. But Cade Povich, I think he's gonna go out there, give me 11 and 9 with a 340 and 160 innings. And he's gonna go out there and he's gonna strike out. Damn, this is actually kind of tough. Give me I don't even know. I'm so bad at metrics and predicting things. Let's see, because Dean Kramer. Let's see how many strikeouts did Corbin Burns have last season. He had 181 strikeouts. So Cade Povich, he had 181 in how many innings did he pitch? 194. So give me 151 strikeouts. I'm excited for Cade. I'm obviously optimistic. Let's see. Record and placement. Give me we're going 94 and 68. We're gonna win the AL East. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I don't want to project because I don't want to say anything besides win the World Series, but I think this is going to be a really great team, really great season. I think Adley's going to place top 5 MVP. I think Eflin's going to be top 10. Cy Young. He was like top 4 a few seasons ago. Right? I'm like 80% sure. Yeah, he was top 10 a few seasons ago. 16-8 with a 350. Oh yeah, well, I'm predicting an insane career year for Eflin. But you know what? That's fine. It's gonna happen. Give me like a Westberg Gold Glove. Yeah, and Henderson Silver Slugger. More of these things can happen. Like I think Henderson can place top 10 in an MVP. You could see another top 10 Cy Young placement. We could see more Gold Gloves. But these are like, if I had to pick one for each thing, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah, I think this is all relatively within the realm of realism, albeit hyper optimistic potentially. But I feel really great about this season. I'm excited. I like our guys, like I said, as Buck Showalter said many times. But yeah, no, Bill Simmons, go away. I like our guys. I like this team. I'm excited. Only a few days away. Pinch me. Like it doesn't even feel real. This is exciting stuff. Yeah, I mean, go O's. That's all I gotta say. That's all I got for today's State of the Orioles Address 2025. Let me know what you're feeling about this season. I've been dark this whole time. Let me know what you're feeling about this season in the comment section down below. If you're an Orioles fan, let me know what you're feeling. If you're a fan of another team, let me know what you're feeling about your team. But for the Orioles, I feel really great. I just want the season to start so I can stop projecting and just watch the games and be happy. But that probably won't even stop me projecting. But that's all I got for today's video. Like and subscribe. Go O's, and peace out.